Hey, everybody. Hope you're having a good week so far. I'll just get right into it. You should be stacking food now, not next week, not a month from now, not 2 weeks from now, right now, soon as possible. And a lot of you already are, I know, but we need to keep doing it. Ramp it up if possible, or as much as you're able, of course. I'm going to give five, really six reasons, and I based this off a Zero Hedge article that I run across a few days ago, and I'm going to expand on it. And there are many more reasons than five reasons, actually, but the article's good. I'm going to put a link in the description down below so you can read it, but I'm going to read a couple of things out of it and give you my take. But it starts with the acknowledgement that up until the last year and a half or so, we haven't really had to worry a lot about sky high food prices. I mean, every year we would notice the prices go up a little bit, just a little notch ups to where you don't really notice it as much, and it wasn't a big burden. We know that's going to happen, and there was always an abundance of food, a lot of variety, a lot of flavors of everything. So we just got used to that. You know, that's not the case anymore. There's been a big shift, big change across the board, everywhere. And it starts by saying, there's a massive wave of inflation has hit the agricultural commodities, and food producers have felt forced to pass those costs on to you, the consumer. Unfortunately, many experts are anticipating that the price hikes that we are currently witnessing are just the beginning. And it says, so even though food prices have already gotten painful, they're already gone up a lot already, they are never going to be any lower than they are at this moment. I'll read that again. They are never going to be any lower than they are at this moment. That's saying a lot, So it goes into a list of reasons, but number one is that, I think I've mentioned this before, but the big grocery chains are stockpiling food like mad right now. Okay, up to 25% more food than normal on some chains. David Smith, CEO of US's largest wholesaler, Associated Grocers, said that they've been buying 15 to 20% more goods, particularly packaged foods with long shelf lives. We're buying a lot of everything. Our inventories are up significantly over the same period last year, he said. At Spartan Nash in Michigan, the retailer has bought up around 20 to 25% more than normal, including frozen meat. It makes sense it makes business sense in a way that if they can get it from their suppliers cheaper now, then they can sell it for a bigger profit later. We should be doing the same thing in a sense, is that stack as much as we can now, because every bit of that helps, because it's just going to be more expensive a month, 2 months, 6 months down the road. So we should be stacking too. If they're doing it, we definitely need to be doing it as much as possible. So that's number one. Number two, the government continues to just print more money. Mentioned that the national debt is moving up to close to $29 trillion mark very rapidly. And the Fed's balance sheet has more than doubled over the last year, since last year. So that's going to keep driving the prices of them that much more. It just keeps driving the price up and up. Number three, gas prices. Gas prices are staying high. They're surging and still in some areas, but overall I think they've leveled out, but they're still high. They haven't come down. I haven't noticed it come down. I don't. Share your thoughts if you see it coming down much at all just from the last few months. Let me know. Share it with everybody. But the gas prices have remained high. That's just going to keep the cost of goods. Most everything is shipped by truck, by transportation. That also adds to stacking the prices higher. So that's another factor. Number four, the endless mega drought in the western states just continues to intensify. We got fires going on now out there. If you look at the latest U.S. drought monitor map, it's a horror show. I mean, really from, especially in the West, but middle of the country over all the way to the West is just really dry. It's a dust, it's this, we haven't seen anything like this since the Dust Bowl days of 1930s. Water levels are at dangerously low levels. Lake Mead, you see some of the video or some of the pictures, it's really unreal how low it is compared to what it was just a few years ago. So that's a big factor. All right. That's a problem. That's going to continue to affect crops. They had interviewed a farmer on here that said that we don't know if we're going to have enough water to keep our crops alive financially. We can't really express how dramatic it's changed in the last couple of years water-wise, because without water, we can't grow crops. Without crops, we have nothing to sell to our consumers. So that's going to keep the price up, quality down. Quality of the produce is just going to keep going down while the price just keeps jacking up. Number five, in this article, they listed grasshoppers because the grasshopper situation, because it's so hot and dry out west, the grasshoppers multiply a lot more, and they're just gobbling up just a bunch of crops right now. And that is a problem, definitely. But I also added one of my own, and that's social unrest. Massive social unrest. I mean, good gosh, look at what's going on. And I know this doesn't affect us directly right now, but look what's going on in South Africa. It seems like, and we can see that here easily. It seems like a lot of the world is in revolt right now. In Europe, they're revolting against or demonstrating big time against all the lockdowns. We got Cuba, a lot of demonstrations going on there. It seems like it's just worldwide. So I think we could easily see something like South Africa here if really things really intensified. Get food shortages get a lot more intense. Social programs, all the stimulus programs are gone into this month. Going to have a lot more homeless, more unemployed. You have a recipe of disaster right there. I think it's going to be really rough. So I think that's a big factor that could come into play. I don't think a lot of people realize how close we came last summer. Remember last summer, all the riots and the demonstrations, they just playing out riots and looting went just with impunity. I mean, they couldn't stop it. In the large cities, a lot of cities, all the major cities in the United States last summer. I don't think people realize how close we came for that just to tip a little bit more, and it would have been more than just a few blocks of a major city. It would have been the whole major city just going up in flames. And even beyond that, I think it got real close to doing that. I mean, really, just my opinion. Share your thoughts on that. But then it just said our leaders continue to insist that this is about this bout of inflation is just transitory, meaning just temporary. And you can believe them if you want, but the truth is that high inflation is here to stay. And it is. It keeps going up. And what we have experienced so far is just the tip of the iceberg. And that's what this article is saying. I tend to believe it. I do believe it. So I think we just, these are ample reasons to keep stacking it. If you haven't started, it's not too late to start. Please, just get extra if you can. Every time you go to the store, get several things extra. It adds up fast. That's how I started. And if you've already been stacking, you've been prepping for a while, just keep adding to it and rotate it, of course. So inflation is here to stay. Keep stacking it. Stockpile. Don't forget the pet food. Okay. And keep your defensive measures clean and ready. Okay. And share your thoughts on this. What do you think? I mean, other reasons, have I missed a big one, out there? But I'd like to know what you think. Hope you're doing well. I'll end it with there, and take care. Be safe out there. God bless you. I'll see you soon.